Ladies and gentlemen, it is a cold day in the warmest place you can think of. The state legislature of Texas has actually passed new laws concerning estate planning, which rarely happens. So I'm going to make 3 videos on 3 new laws that are going to affect the estate planning world in Texas. But before I dive into that, I can let you know how to reach out to me. You can go to my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. You can schedule a free consultation with me over the phone. So with that, let's dive into the first one, and this is called the Homestead Laws. Now, they're not actually called that, I'm just making it up, but essentially there's a new law that states, hey, if you have a trust, we need to verify what type of trust it is. More specifically, this trust needs to have very specific language inside of it that states, it cites to a particular tax code in Texas that says it's a qualified trust. So a qualified trust is a trust that simply says we comply with the laws of Texas. We are a trust that allows the owner of the residential property, who's also the trustee, to live in that property indefinitely rent-free. So I don't know why that's so important to them, but apparently Texas is very particular that your trust must state that you can live in your primary residence as the trustee of your trust, and the house that you own and the house that you bought, it wants to make sure that you declare you will live in that house and you have the option to live there rent-free. You don't have to pay yourself rent to live in your own house because you transferred your house out of your name into your trust. So I can't tell you why that's so important to them. I guess the tax comptroller or whoever else is in control of taxes in Texas was just like having a bad day and they needed to figure that one out. But either way, it's extremely important that your trust declares that it's a qualified trust and gives yourself that permission to not pay yourself rent if you decide not to. That being said, if you don't have that language, then your trust is not a qualified trust, and qualified trusts are the ones that let you qualify for the homestead exemption while still having a trust. So in other words, the homestead exemption, for those who don't know in Texas, means that you get lower property taxes, you get protections from creditors if somebody passes away in your family, you get to live in your house after your spouse passes away, and you're supposed to get kicked out, but you actually can live there anyways. There are a lot of really great protections that come from the homestead exemption, so you absolutely want to make sure you qualify for the homestead exemption. But if you don't have this specific language in your trust, then you could possibly lose your homestead exemption, which would be very bad financially and emotionally. So it's very important to make sure that your trust currently, right now, if you own a Texas trust, it needs to be able to state that it is a qualified trust, that it cites the particular tax code of Texas that lets it be a qualified trust, and the trust gives you permission to rent or to own or to live in your house rent-free, without any kind of consideration for future beneficiaries. If you have all 3 of those things, then you can qualify to have the homestead exemption for yourself, and you can live in your house rent-free, and you can have a trust to avoid probate. So that's what most people want. Everybody probably wants all 3 of those things, so you should definitely double check with your trust. My trusts already have this language. It was kind of an iffy before Texas clarified, but now it's very clarified in law that you must have this language in there. So if you have any questions on this or anything else, feel free to reach out to me, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com. Or you can find me on my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. You go to our Contact Us page and schedule a free call with me over the phone directly to talk about this or anything else that comes up. So thank you so much and have a great day.